What do you mean you're not attracted to me? What do you mean I'm not good looking? Not attractive enough. Just,
All right. Well, so far the show's had more plugs than Nicolas Cage's hair.
Whoa, nice.
Week 19 on the Take Two Plus 4-part week explosion of fiery face-offs. We have John Woo in one corner. In the other, we have John Travolta. Two Johns facing off once and for all. In the other ring of fiery face-offs, we have Nicolas Cage.
Taking on all of 90s action movies.
All of 90s, that's tough. Although he's been in a fair amount of them.
If anyone
Nicolas
can pull
Cage
it off,
against
it's
himself.
Nick. I didn't realize at the time when we were talking about this that we were turning this into war games, Chris, but okay. I don't think anyone is any clear on what it is we're about to do, Chris. But thank you
All
for
right, well, let me say it again.
Shitting out of your mouth for the past 2 minutes.
The following may contain harsh language, poorly communicated ideas, and does not reflect the opinions of iHeartRadio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 19. This is week 1 of our 4-week face-off challenge. It's going to be feisty. Week 1, we have John Woo. We're looking at his career, looking at his top 3 films, figuring out where face-off ranks with that, of course, and then maybe seeing how John Woo faced off with another face-off star, John Travolta. Both named John. Which John will make the last John better than themselves? When I say John Woo, what does that mean to you?
It means kick-ass. It means kick-ass action, Chris. Tyler, what do you think?
That doesn't count. Tyler, what does John Woo mean to you?
It
Week
means
19.
And
Week
this
1.
is my original idea, my original thought. It means kick-ass action. Can't think of 2 better
All right,
words.
so what does John Woo mean to you then, Sean?
You son of a bitch.
All right, there's no time for
don't
it.
mind.
You know what? You
and
had a lot of
incest.
time to prepare for an answer. You didn't. Now we're moving on. Okay, everybody, this is a very special part of the show where we talk about the most John Woo of the John Woo. These are the things that we come to expect in a John Woo film. I'm going to list off a few. And fellas, I'm going to ask you the one feature of a John Woo film that is the most John Woo of the John Woo things. So the things you get to choose from are double guns, shootout, face-to-face, back-to-back, friendship, doves, sunglasses, trench coats, slow-mo gunfights, dance, and snipers. So, fellas, having seen those films, what's the most John Woo feature to a John Woo film of those things?
I'm gonna go with slow-mo gunfights.
Ooh, nice.
To me, when I think of John Woo, I think of I actually do think of the double-fisted guns and the.
He does it a lot. He does it a lot. He does a lot of double guns. There's a lot of shootouts in John Woo films.
But you also just can't have a John Woo film without the dubs. You can't.
On Face Off, apparently the only mandate he got from the studio was that they want a John Woo film. So that's pretty nice to get that blank check.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. We like your style.
And he made 6 films in America. One of them is great. A couple of them are decent. A couple of them are not. But that's not a terrible track record, really, all things considered.
Especially for action films. It's hard to make a good action film that holds up.
Would Face Off be at the end of John Woo's career or more in the middle, fellas?
It's in the middle towards end, but I mean, not really, because he's still going.
Twilight.
He's still going. I think this was...
As in he's not dead yet.
This was close to the peak without him necessarily knowing it was the peak.
I mean, not everyone's lucky enough to realize you've hit the peak. And in fact, most people probably aren't. And John Woo definitely falls into that group. But there's no doubt that between 1986 and the year 2000, he had a pretty remarkable chain of films that anyone would die to have on their filmography.
Mr. Action. Mr. Action.
John Woo is the name I think of when I think of Hong Kong action movies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was younger. I actually sought out all of his Hong Kong films and tried to watch them all. And that was probably the only time I had done that, because it was a little bit harder when I was 12 to.
No one fucking cares,
13 to
Sean.
find yours.
I saw it when I was 14, but then 16.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was
okay.
basically,
Right.
if you're gonna watch Asian action movies in the 90s, you're either looking for John Woo or you're looking for Jackie Chan, and that's
Where Hong Kong cinema stood for a very long time was martial art films. John Woo changed martial arts to guns, and had it very slow motion.
He created the
There
gun
was a dance
ballet.
to
It's called
it.
the gun ballet. Yeah.
No one called it that.
Yeah,
but
a lot of people did. Yeah,
No.
you know why? Because as a teenager, I would
No.
seek out these movies, and that's why I know this. Yeah, exactly. But that story doesn't count, right? Because no one cares.
Let me throw us
double
back
dare
on
you.
track. Let me throw us back on track. I
Thank you,
think
Tyler.
you could say there's like 3 phases, and feel free to jump in and correct me, to John Woo's career.
Okay.
You've got the Hong Kong phase,
Sure.
you've got the Hollywood action phase, and then you've got the post-Hollywood phase.
The
basically.
return to Hong Kong.
Whenever you
Return
have
to Hong Kong.
post, it's like kind of an apocalyptic kind
Yeah.
of thing.
I
Or
would.
they're trying to sound rude or mean. You can almost, if we're talking about what's the best John Woo movie, you can pretty much write off everything once you went back to Asia, once you went back to make films in China.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, they have not been the great ones.
But
The
yeah,
question is, if we're taking away everything he's done post Hollywood and all like the early comedy stuff he did, is there
Mhm.
anything in his Hollywood era that trumps what he did in Hong Kong before he got
In
brought
his
over to make
prime in
Hollywood
Hong
action
Kong?
movies? Yeah.
I mean, we got it. Like Face Off has to be an option. Like it's possible. Like Face Off is very
This
good.
is probably the most viable option, right?
Broken Arrow is decent and fun film, but it's not as good as Face
It's
Off.
the same.
And
extent,
neither
yeah.
is Hard Target. No, they're not. It's not of the same quality. Not
No,
quite.
especially considering the era came out like '96. Broken Arrow's fun, but it gets lost in the awesomeness that's '90s action movies. Like that's the heyday of action films.
Yeah, and Mission Impossible 2 is a little too overwrought, unfortunately, and it's just ridiculous. Like
It's
over the
also,
top.
I would say, Mission Impossible 1 and 3 are probably the best Mission Impossible movies, so it gets sandwiched awkwardly between the two
Yeah.
best in the franchise.
Are you including those like new ones with like
Yeah, out of the whole franchise, I would say 1 and 3 are the
really?
best.
Because the new ones are getting quite a bit of claim.
Yeah, the people love the most recent one, but I
They're
still
okay, but
yeah.
I think 1 and 3 are still the best.
So you're
think
a
one is.
Abrahams and De Palma guy.
De Palma for sure.
Abraham.
Abrahams. JJ for Mission Impossible 3. I think.
Abrams?
Oh, J.J. Abrams. That's right. Sorry. What was I thinking? John Abrahams.
I don't know. I have
And
no
that
idea.
guy, John Abrahams. Sorry to hear about John Abrahams.
But let's.
Click this
All right.
link if you want to learn more about John Abrahams.
Can we agree Hard Boiled is the best John Woo film?
I don't know, man. Like I love A Better Tomorrow 2 and The Killer. Like
Killer.
All right, so
Killer
let's
is
rate the
definitely-
3 because those are the 3 best movies. Where are we rating The Killer, Hard Boiled, and A Better Tomorrow?
A Better Tomorrow was John Woo's first like big hit film, and it was a big action movie, and it had like all the trappings of what would become like a John Woo action film.
What's the last film he made in Hong Kong before we got brought to Hollywood?
It was
Hard-Boiled?
Hard Boiled. Yeah, it was Hard Boiled.
So like I don't know enough about the time. Was it Hard Boiled that was so popular that brought him over? Or was it like a legacy of like?
I mean, it
making
was
good
probably a
films?
sustained. I mean, from 1986, which was A Better Tomorrow 1, to Hard Boiled, which is 1992. So that's a 6-year run where I'm sure that people in Hollywood have probably heard of him by A Better Tomorrow 2, right? And then like The Killer comes out, and The Killer is like it's a Criterion movie, right? Like I mean, it's an awesome film. Like
Can't
it's
judge a movie. That is a Criterion movie, Sean.
um,
Benjamin Button's a Criterion movie. Like,
Benjamin
who
Button
cares?
is
Benjamin
Lesser
Button was a
Fincher.
saint.
It's a lesser Fincher film, but it's not a terrible movie. I'm really pissed that they've never like reissued A Killer or Hard Boiled. Because like you can only get the DVDs, and if you look on the like Kijiji and shit, they're like hundreds of dollars for like the Criterion
course they are.
Hard Boiled DVD.
I'm with you though. Either one of those two films, I'd be okay with number 1 and number 2 spot. Like both of those are.
Yeah, and then we have like so then Face Off or A Better Tomorrow would be the three spot.
But Wind Talkers is still the best film he's ever made.
Wind Talkers is no, it's a piece of shit. It's not good.
Yeah,
Wind Talkers
it
not
is.
good, but to be fair, Paycheck is probably worse.
Comment below about what you think about Wind Talkers.
What? Gun to my head in a John Woo type film.
Okay.
I'm gonna
What
go
kind
with
of gun?
I'm gonna go with A Better Tomorrow in the 3 spot.
So what is the Olympic podium looking like for John Woo, Sean?
I would put The Killer in first place.
And in second place, Sean, silver medal.
Hard Boiled.
A very desperate bronze medal goes to who, Sean?
A Better Tomorrow.
Wait a second. So where's Face Off? No. Wait, no.
Face
Okay.
Off
So
is
Face
not on
Off
the
needs to
podium.
be no. So this entire thing's about Face Off, obviously. And so John Woo, Killer, Hard Boiled, and no, that doesn't work. We need Face
No.
Off. Where's Face Off?
It's not.
Face Off didn't make the podium, is what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh.
Face Off
Well, you know what? I
did
have to
not
watch these
finish.
movies now.
Yeah.
Total bullshit.
I don't think you've seen any of the meddling John Woo films.
That's because I told you that, Sean. That's why you think that. As I said, I have not watched that.
It would have been sweet in that 90s big John Woo era to see a Chow Yun-Fat John Woo Hollywood big budget thing.
That would have
the
been
only
awesome.
like pieces missing.
Unfortunately, at the time that John Woo was making movies there, Hollywood was not ready for it to also have like a Chinese lead as one of their main draws. And
But you know what? They'll leave it to us to be like, hey, John, you've already done freaking awesome stuff. Can you do it like
in
this?
America?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he's already
Yeah.
done it. He doesn't
Like,
need to prove anything else.
I mean, yeah, Chris is right. If they had done that in America, it probably would not have been better than The Killer. Or Heart.
No, I'm not saying it would have been better. I'm just saying I would have loved
Less
to see,
subtitles,
like,
Tyler. You
budget.
stupid
Oh.
fucking idiot.
Yes, exactly. No, I would have loved to see the budget and the production value that Hollywood provides mixed with their style and their chemistry together. Is all that I'm saying.
Yep.
All right, so next week, Chris, what is it? Who's in the ring next week in War Games?
Well, this is a very exciting question, Sean, because again, we are doing our weeks of face-off, 52 weeks of face-off. Next week will be week 20, part of our 2-week face-off challenge. So we have John Woo this week in week 1, and next week will be week 2 or week 20, depends on which way you look at it. Next week we'll be looking at John Travolta, Battle of the Johns, face-off of the Johns. So I don't know which John has the better filmography. I guess we'll have to break it down, see where Face Off lands, and try and just do a bit better research next time. Okay, Sean? Cool.
Oh, fuck you, bud.
See you guys.
Fuck you.